Okay. Screen life. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh. Email. Okay. So let's start standing. See the best angle here. Okay. Starting standing with 2 feet on the floor and just arriving here, letting the weight fall down into the feet, into the floor, and into the earth that's below the floor, all the way into the center, just um, establishing that connection down to the core of the earth through all of those layers. And we can start what we call walk falling. So shifting the weight from right to left and inviting a little, yeah, simple walk. There's no need to lift the foot off the floor, but rather can think of sending movement or energy down through the heel into the floor, and we start to walk this way. So from right to left and right to left, starting to connect with the skeleton, sending the weight down through the leg bones into the heel and into the floor and out. Letting in some big gulps of air and letting it out. Maybe it moves all the way into a yawn. And shifting right and left, right and left, and right and left, playing with the rhythm a little bit, starting to invite a little chaos into the monotonous rhythm. And let's do a little rotation around ourselves in this walk fall and seeing where you are, seeing the space around you. Letting the pelvis fall down as you walk and seeing how the ribs also invite the movement down to the floor. Maybe the ears want to fall from side to side. Feeling how the ears guide the bones of the skull, which are like these tectonic plates in all different directions down to the floor. Right and left, right and left. And we keep this walking, going, letting it be the base that the, the exploration happens on. And we can imagine the mind energy, the thought energy gathering and starting to melt and drop down through the skeleton. So starting in the skull, you can also put your fingertips on each body part, letting it dissolve, this fiery mind, thoughts, energy into the skull and dropping down into the jaw, into the base of the skull, down vertebra to vertebra. And you can imagine as this ball of fiery thought energy travels down through your skeleton and its trail, it leaves a pure echo of bright light, like a comet. And we're clearing the skeleton as we go down, tracing all of the bones, letting this thick, heavy, hot thought energy travel through the skeleton and clear, leaving a trail of pure light like a comet behind it. Sending it down through the thigh bones, clearing out, illuminating the skeleton, and down into the knees. And traveling all the way down the shin bones to the ankles and all the way to the feet. And while we're down at the feet, you can find the floor and come to a sitting position. Adjusting the cameras. Yeah, and we can find a sitting position, leaning back into the hands, into the wrists and the palms. And once you establish those two leaning points, you can invite the feet to jump up and bring the knees to standing. So we have the leaning points of the two palms, the two feet, and then between there we have our sitting bones and also our tailbone leading into the floor. So just feeling those points of contact with the floor. And from there we can start to play with thrusting the sit bones forward and back to your resting point. So thrusting them forward and back, rolling over the tailbone and back and front and back. And see if the belly can really empty its contents. So you can imagine the pelvis being a bowl of water. And when you roll the sit bones forward, the bowl tips over and dumps out all of its contents in front of you. Front and back, front and back. Playing this a little bit and seeing how the hands can be the engine to thrust the sit bones forward. So leaning into the floor in the palms, the sit bones roll forward, jump and back, jumping forward and back, front and back. And how does the head also maybe make space for the sit bones to jump forward and back? And then we try back and back to the center. So the sit bones jump back and the belly drops down. And we come into now like a curved position and seeing how the feet can invite the sit bones to jump back. Back and center and jump and center. And let's try that in sequence. Hi, Tina. See a dog that I know there. Hi, Tina, I love you. So jumping the sit bones forward and center and back. So the whole thing in sequence. Front, center, and back. Feeling how the feet are the engines or the palms are the engines. And if you start to have some pain in the wrists, see how you can really let the movement pass through them and find different ways to let the stagnation move through. So jump front and center and back. And center, remembering to breathe, and back and center, back, playing with the rhythm a little bit, speeding it up, letting the movement carry you. Maybe bringing a smile, inner smile, outer smile. And Let's rest on the right side. Coming to the right side, taking a rest, curling into a little ball, cradling yourself. Sounding to yourself, letting yourself know that you're there. Hmm. Hmm. And jumping to the other side, resting on the left side, feeling the skeleton falling down, falling down. And coming back to our starting position, seated with our leaning points. And now let's try side to side. So we thrust and roll the sitting bones to the right and back, and to the right and back. So the right sitting bone leans down into the floor to make space for the left one to jump up on top of it, leaning into the palms, into the feet to see how this might become possible. And how does the head again roll? What is the roll of the head? To make space to the right and back, to the right and back, and let's try to the left and back, left and back, left and back, jumping down or leaning down and jumping up. So left sitting bone falling down and right, jumping up. And let's try and sequence, so to the left and back, and to the right and back, left and back, left. Can try left and back and right, playing a bit with this rhythm, already letting it be messy. Don't try to do anything right. And speeding it up a little bit, inviting an inner smile to jump from the right sit bone to the left, passing the smile from sit bone to sit bone. Smile of the sit bones jumping side to side, all the while letting the belly empty. Jump, jump, jump. Okay, and let's take another little rest on the right side. And on the left side. Feeling the echo, letting yourself really drop and relax. And coming back to sitting one more time. And we try now a circle. So integrating the front and the back and the side into a circle. And we can imagine a clock on the floor beneath us. And we can jump to 6 ahead of us, and to 3, and to 12, and to 9. Each time or each position, really a station. So we arrive and we fall down. We arrive and we fall down. We jump and we fall down, jump, fall down. drawing the circle beneath us. Again, how do the feet and the hands support the circle? Maybe some diagonals or thrusting from one palm, like the left palm. How does the left palm invite the right sit bone to fall down? How does the right foot invite the left sit bone to fall down? So playing with these diagonals and seeing how they can integrate into a circle. Sit bones circling on the floor. Seeing how they can separate from the tailbone and how this invites the belly to soften and empty. Seeing how the circle of the sit bones is reflected in the circle of the head as it rests on top of the spine. So maybe there's actually two circles running, letting the head echo the circle that we're drawing on the floor. Are the ribs circling in between those two? Maybe there's three circles going on. And inviting through these circles a little bit of chaos, letting go of designing it, but seeing how the circles can start to move you, letting the skeleton fall down, 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 and letting the movement clarify our inner landscape. So circling the sit bones, letting in the air, echoing, circling the head, leaning into the palms, into the feet, and circling wildly, letting in air, inviting yawns, even if they're fake. Sounding, smiling, becoming human again. Yeah. And rest. Falling down again on the right side. Closing these circles all around you and inside of you, letting these echoes integrate in your being. And jumping quickly to the left side to rest, flipping rather than jumping, and taking a moment to rest there. Feeling the left side of your body falling in, down to the floor, and the right side melting over it. Okay, let's come into our backs. And bringing the memory of those three circles that we were playing with, the circle of the sit bones, the circle of the ribs, and the circle of the head. And we can add some circles on the knees, circles around the ankles. So we're here like the planet Saturn with all these rings around us. Also can be hula hoops. And seeing how we can keep them circling. So we are the planet body that circles the rings. Or we are the body inside of the hula hoops. very flat on the floor. Half of the circle is above you in the air, and the other half is going down through the floor and back around. Letting these hula hoops circle around you, keeping them in motion, just as much little movement as you need to. And in the meantime, seeing how your skeleton can fall and finding leaning points into the floor, in the elbows and the shoulder blades, the heels, the pelvis, all supporting this continual hula hooping around you. Maybe there's one little hula hoop on each of your fingertips that you also start to move around you, and one on each wrist, but not forgetting about the ones around the ribs or around the head or the feet. While you're down at the feet, you can add one on each toe. So one hula hoop on each toe. Keeping all of these in motion, feeling how they support you in staying in motion. Ay. Hey. Breathing, smiling, even if it's just inside, inviting this motion to coat your inner landscape with smiles. Yeah. Dropping effort, inviting movement to pass through you, keeping the hula hoops alive. And let's speed up the pace of these hula hoops. So we were going at 50%, and now let's double it to 100%. So doubling the speed. Yeah. The speed doubles and the effort lessens. Yeah. And let's double that to 200%. 200% possibility of speed. The effort drops to negative 200%. And we start to ride and coast this movement traveling through us, letting the momentum and the energy of the hula hoops keep us in motion. Many, many hula hoops circling and cycling. And keeping in this dance with the hula hoops, you can roll to your side and find a way to come up using your hands as leaning points to your knees and finding your way to standing, keeping the hula hoops in motion. We can come up, find your way to standing, keeping these hula hoops riding around you now that we're standing in vertical. Feeling how the inner content is cleaning and falling out. Remembering the little ones on all of our fingertips, circling, cycling. And let's double it up to 400% for a final celebration. Ah! Slowly letting each hula hoop one by one start to fall off your body. Maybe first on the fingertips. One by one, they easily fall down to the floor. And we're left with the echo. Maybe a little smile. And maybe a refreshment, and that's it. Ciao.